Hey data fans, Reed here. Today I'm excited to release a new multi-tool for the Power BI multi-tool suite that we have. This is going to focus on accessibility. Specifically, it's a tool that was inspired from Stephanie Bruno and Shannon Lindsay, collectively the data witches, and the tool that they had previously built around identifying things that were or were not particularly accessible from a UI accessibility and readability perspective for reports. And I've extended that to build that into the multi-tool. So with that being said, I like to focus on the demos and the designs. So let's hop into Power BI and get started. Now, this one was inspired from some of the accessibility checkers that Shannon Lindsay and Stephanie Bruno have made previously a few years back. That used to be kind of a Power BI file that would use a bunch of extraction methods and practices to produce a report for you. And that inspired me later on to eventually build a tool that was inspired by some of the stuff that they did, but also brought some enhancements and other stuff. And I wanted to give an homage to them as well through the little witch hat that we have here in the actual logo name for the tool itself. And also I will give some shout outs as well available in the help section for them to be able to reference you to some of the pages and the Data Witches website that they have as well to check out for that. So thanks to both of you if you're watching this for the inspiration for this, and also for helping me test some of this as well. Without your inspiration, this tool wouldn't have come out. But otherwise, I want to walk through some of what this does now as well. So just like all of my other tools, this thing can actually scan one of two things. It can scan PBIP. Technically, there is some PBIX compatibility as well, but PBIR is a little harder to read. Sorry, PBIR is a little harder to read in the zipped format. So I do recommend for any of these scans to use the PBIP format, as that is easier for the Python to punch through and read. But when you analyze a PBIP file, it will go through and provide you a few accessibility checks. Now, the ones that it will go through is your tab order, your titles, your alt text, which is the screen reader text that will show up, data chart labels, contrast, bookmarks, and page titles, and whether or not also there's any hidden pages that might have some accessibility issues as well. Now, their tool did a few of these, such as the tab order, visual titles, alt text, data labels. I did enhance this with the contrast and a few other things to bring some improvements to it. But basically, all of this helps to see how accessible your reports are being built as or towards with that. So as an example here, if you click tab order, it has a total number of items that are found and ones that should be fixed. So in this case, it's actually going to give you callouts, like you can see down here below, where decorative elements such as shape is included in the tab order, and you would maybe want to consider hiding some of those. And per the suggestion from Stephanie Bruno as well, she did ask me if we could have some way to do a preview where this is actually doing a rendering of the X, Y, and Z coordinates from the report pages to show you where that particular visual is and whether or not you'd want to hide it or not. Now, I just have a test file, so the layout is going to essentially be a few series of random items that I throw onto there to create for testing this item, but you'll see a graphical rendering of the page that you have for any of these. Now, you might also notice that they have some guidelines that are listed in here. Now, if you come up to the settings, we actually have things that can be enabled. So what things do you want to scan? And the WCAG, where you can actually learn more about any of these. But if you hover over these are all accessibility standards. And basically the contrast ratios of the standard of 4.5 to 1, enhanced of 7 to 1, and then for large text only is a 3.1. And then you can even also flag some of the failures as review, depending on which level you're actually doing this on. And also as well, the default security filter. So whether or not for the severities, for the filtering that you see down in the issue details down here, specifically for this, the default filtering, what you would have that filtered to. So you have a few options in here to be able to change some of these and then save the settings, which will save to your local cache when you're using this tool. And if you want to learn more about the WCAG accessibility standards, you can click the Learn More button, which will also take you to a website that will give you more information on this. So I really wanted to be able to have a wide variety of standards that go towards a lot of the practices that we have in here. Now, visual titles, similarly, whether or not a visual title does or does not have a title defined for it versus the default, alt text as implied will be related to any of the screen reader text that you have that has been typed in there either through manually typed text or through measure driven alt text for screen readability. Data labels that we can see here, whether or not the chart has them or not. So if you think that those are necessary, and again, with some of these, if you don't find them to be necessary practices, both for accessibility and or for report usage, you can turn those off again in the settings. The one that I really like is the color contrast. So this actually has where if you open this up, it will show you where you can filter one by page. So any of these pages in here, you can filter to a particular page. That will take you to the page where it will show you the actual visual with the hierarchy. And if you open this up, you'll get all of the things in here that might have violated something depending on the ratio. So it will show you the ratio, the current ratio, specifically the two colors. And again, at the top level of the visual, you will get the location of wherever any of these items are currently being kept in. So it is a nice way to be able to see that. These ones are a little harder to see because it's layered in a group, and there's some other items on top of it specifically. So it's not absolutely perfect on some of the layerings that you have in here, but it gives you an approximate location of where some of these items are. And I was trying to make this as friendly as possible with a few of these. Bookmarks, similarly, if there is a generic name for this, it will recommend you rename that. Same thing with page titles, ensure that you have descriptive names. And the really nice thing about this as well is this can export to CSV or export to PDF all of the findings. Now this one, because these are decisions that need to be made, there's no auto fix button, but this is more of a report printout to help you get some information that you'd like to see on a few of these. And again, similarly, there's an option here for the show where you can see important or critical ones as well, which filters the issue details at the bottom. So contrast, there are 6 critical that should probably be fixed. A few more important as well. So that's what that filter does, is things that you might want to change and then things that you probably should change is the category between those, which again is being flagged by the things to review, which is just important, versus things that are critical, which would be failing any of the standards that you've set up into there. But overall, the goal of this would, again, to have something a bit informative, trying to aim towards that accessibility, which Shannon Lindsay and Stephanie Bruno have done for many years, and Megan Longoria is another huge advocate for this stuff. John Kursky, I know, has done quite a lot with these things, but I'm always an advocate for more accessibility and any tooling that can help you do that. So hopefully this is something that you can find useful. It is available in the links down below to our current GitHub, which will have this available. And again, this is a free community tool. The only requirement is that if it's your first time using it, when you install it, you will get a prompt just to sign up with your name and email and some basic information credentials, and you get to use the tool for free. But otherwise, I hope you find this useful. If you have any suggestions or comments, anything for improvements, feel free to open up issues on the GitHub for that. Otherwise, drop any comments down below in the comments section. Check out some of our related content here in the upper left. And as always, liking, commenting, and subscribing will help this channel grow. And with that being said, thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video.